Welcome back. This is Signature Morning. It's 8:35 in the morning. We are in the headquarters of the Signature TV here in Enugu State, Southeast Nigeria. All right, we have special discussions, especially as it concerns textile design and the prospects or the digital era. I mean, we have seen several designing these days. Some persons will say it has improved some measure of creativity when it comes to designing. Some of us will say, you know what, it is taking away creativity. We have with us in the studio an art scholar and a textile designer, Kaosiemenma Uchendu-Edeh. Good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So give us an overview of what textile design is, the traditional method of textile designing and the modern way of textile designing.
Okay. Textile design is the art of creating designs and patterns on fabric through weaving, knitting, printing. We have felting, we have embroidery. We can, through that, we do also tie and dye. You get, but they're all hand-drawn patterns. I can use loom and dye, but today technology has taken over. Digital tools are now available for textile artists to make their designs through technology. So those are the processes, both the traditional and the digital one that we have now.
Right, but when you say the digital textile designing have taken over this traditional ones, what do you mean by that? Does it mean that there are no opportunities for the traditional, or everything traditional has moved to digital?
No, it hasn't moved to digital because textile designers still use those traditional methods till date. What the digital does is to enhance them, to reduce errors, and to make them more creative. Coming to traditional methods, some colors are not available, but really, once you have them, coming to softwares like Adobe, Illustrator, Procreate, you have numerous of colors available for you to use and create your designs. So that's why you can't just keep out the traditional methods. The digital tools are making them more useful and more creative.
Okay, so give us like what would happen in another 5 to 10 years, because I've heard people say that if you don't transition to digital, you might be left behind. Do you see that happen in these artists, illustrators?
Well, it's more like 50-50 because I don't think everybody, the digital traditional methods, they are still useful. Only what the digital era will do is to make it more visible and have a global reach. Thereby, those that are now in the years to come, they will see that these ones are what have been done. They can still have like a picture or like conserving those methods you get. So now what most artists do now is with those traditional old patterns, they now use the digital tools to enhance them, make them look more creative, make some corrections, make it just preserving those tools. So for me, it's not going away entirely. It's still going to be useful in the years to come because just like the Digital Museum in Enugu State now, if you go there, you see works of pasts that's been there since even we were even born, but they're all there in the Digital Museum. So you get there, you see all those things. You could even draw inspirations from those works. So in the years to come, those traditional methods won't be left out. It will still be useful for designers and artists.
Right. What do you think are the relevance of digital arts to humans generally?
Well, the relevance is making works more faster, more precise and more experimental, being creative, because like I said earlier, you have enough numerous of colors available for you on those software and platforms, and then there is mass production. It saves time. Imagine trying to create designs for 100 people for an event that involves like 100 persons. Using traditional method is time taxing. It takes more patience and has labor involved things. So once you have your digital tools around you, you could just spend hours, create your designs, and you're all good to go. So for me, it makes work faster, it saves time, it has helped for mass customization, mass production.
Yeah, so that means people are going to go for the ones that are easier to do than this traditional style. That's why I said in another 5 or 10 years, maybe this traditional style will be where we will have to.
The difference is usually clear. Once you see a work that is hand-done, that is done by an artist, is usually speaks different.
Are you sure about that, though?
Yes.
Because again, I've seen people who say using of AI tools to do certain things, you could detect that it's an AI that did it. But these days, people write as good as AI does.
Yeah, but talking about originality and authenticity, you can't compare what AI did for you and what you did with your hands. And then sometimes when you call them to describe their work or defend what they've done, they can't. But once you do it with your hands, you are the creative artist that did it with your hands. It's obvious. You can say you use this because of this, you do this because of this, but AI does everything for you, and then you take AI to give you a title, and you give a title, and there you go. But once you are the artist that created the work yourself, you can able to defend your work. You are sure that your art comes with emotions. It's therapeutic. You are doing this. You are having emotions, you're having ideas coming in and out. But if you're doing it yourself, you can able to defend it wherever you go. That's one thing about doing it, being the authentic person that does the work, just like not giving it to AI to do for you.
Yeah, I understand that part, but people can also use emotions to create some things, even using AI. I mean, I could have an emotion poured out to AI, and AI creates something, even though not perfect, I could modify it, to suit what my feelings are. Yeah. I mean, people still go and still explain
what you did.
What I did. Now, the next question would be, do you think that it diminishes creativity, the use of digital tools, or it improves or enhances it?
It enhances it, it doesn't diminish it, because like I said earlier, some things, like I could get a pattern of, let's say, akwete. Akwete is all this textile fabric that has been there before. You could snap them, scan them, then go to your digital tools to enhance them, thereby putting in more patterns or colors to make it look unique and different from what has been there. So it has helped you to get another design from the existing one already. So it's not diminishing it, it's helping to enhance creativity.
Okay, so are there challenges for creative arts or artists like you moving from traditional style of creativity to digital style? Are there challenges that people face in that regard?
Well, some of those tools are not easily, they don't come by easily, and if you are not computer led, you can't just do all those things. So for you to have all those things, you have to up to date with what is going on social media. You have to know what's the latest one, and just like iPhones, you have to keep updating and updating you. So like you're updating your phone to update yourself with eyes and all those things that are happening, for you to be on deck to know what is happening. You have to keep reading, make your researches, and also some materials, some of those machines, they are expensive. So they're not something that you can just get by, but all you need to do is go for research, do trainings. There are some apps give online trainings, so you could do your trainings online and get involved and keep going.
What are the opportunities available for digital arts creators, not just digital art creators, but also traditional art creators? Do they make money? I mean, is it a course people can do, study, come out and stick to it and make a life out of it? How do they make their money? Or who do they go to create these things? Because again, I mean, you are not creating these things just because you like it, but I mean, you have to make something out of it. So tell us the opportunities that are available for art creators.
Well, there are so many opportunities. For you to know them, you have to keep your ears open and know what is happening out there. They have platforms where you could showcase your work and make money, like the NFTs, non-fungible tokens. They help artists showcase and monetize their works in a digital space. NFT helps to prove ownership and originality of digital works, thereby making those digital creations to be valuable and collectible. Then also talking about social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, X, you could meet people online, create your works, post them. Once you post them, someone that you're in Nigeria, in Nigeria, you've created something, you post, someone that is in Australia could see your work, people that have diverse cultures could see your work, have interest, and call you for purchase or collaboration. So it costs for the artist to be open-minded to social meetings, social media platforms, and know what is happening. Sometimes you can't just wait for physical exhibitions to happen for you to sell your works. You need to. There are so many online platforms that are there for you. People now stay in their room, create works, sell to someone that is somewhere else. It's happening. Just for you to know the real platforms, the real audience. Once you get the real audience that you need, you could sell out your works.
So how do you get the audience? How do you get involved? Where do you go to? Like if, for instance, I'm the digital person and I am creative, I know these things. How do I sell it? And I mean, just like somebody who knows how to play football, and you are just known behind your house as someone who plays good football. You haven't gone anywhere. Where do we go to? Like when you have that, where do you head to?
Well, you don't need to head to anywhere. Like I said, I talk about the NFT. I'm not really sure. I don't really know how it works, but I know that you have to create something digitally, post on their platform. They have OpenAir or some OpenSea, one of the platform there. OpenSea, create your works, then put the cost of your work, put a metadata that's more like your title of the work, the costs, and then your royalty. Royalty is more like the percentage you need to get. You get when you sell the work. So people should get to have an awareness of the NFT, that artists. It works for both musicians and arts creators. And then social media platform, when you create your work, there are hashtags you could add to your work that will make people all over the world to see your works. Like if I'm a textile artist, I could post, like an textile artist that I am, I could create a work, post it on social media, tag galleries, not just in Nigeria. I could I could do hashtag UK galleries, all those things. They see your works. Once you put hashtag in your work, people that are somewhere else, once people click on or type UK galleries, your work comes out under there. So by then you are here, you've made people see your work globally. That's what you need to just do.
Right. Are there clusters, those who are within that space, say for instance within Nigeria, that you can join in order to, have your skill enhanced? Are there even universities these days, I'm not even sure that there might be courses that highlights these things, but it's not a Nigerian thing. I wouldn't say that, look, that I know this person who is so good in art and is creative and is popular. Like what we have with Nollywood, what we have with other spheres of life, that is, in character. But I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's not in arts, it's not a Nigerian thing. But even though you wouldn't see a Nigerian go out of their way, not many. I know that are few. That people in Nigeria go out of their way and say, let me go and buy an art. Let me go and buy this. Let me go and get this. Do you think it's a challenge, especially for those who are creative, who are producing things like this, and they don't really have a market in Nigeria to sell their things?
Well, it boils down to those artists finding out organizations and associations that they will join. Like currently in Nigeria, in Nigeria, we have Life in My City Art Festival. They do annual art festival. They bring youths from 18 to 35 years. They get their works, they exhibit, and from there they give youths the leverage to advertise their work, even help them sell their works. So now young artists should find out those organizations. Life Might Start Festival, they have their annual yearly festival. The forms are on now, but not everybody wants to do that. So you pay just a sum of 5,000 naira to get the form, apply, create your works, and people come for exhibitions. They do exhibitions regionally in Enugu, Abuja, Kaduna. They have regional exhibitions, and then after the whole thing, they come together, select 100 artists that will get to the final stage, and they don't just do it in Enugu. They do the grand finale in Enugu, and people from various parts of the country come in, and they have people that partner with them all over the world. So now with this, you're in Enugu or in Lagos, you've created your works, they'll help you promote your work, showcase your work, and also sell it. And then there are also organizations, SNA, we have Society of Nigerian Artists, like they have Visual Association of Artists. Join all those things. Nollywood people in Enugu, they have Actors Guild for actors, yes. So now artists should learn or find out those those platforms, those arts organizations that they will join to help them. You can't just do it on your own. Nobody gets it all done on his own. So you need someone that will push you, someone that will, you need collaborations with galleries, with art firms to get you going.
So for you, as someone who is in that space, excuse me, what's your experience like? Are you into arts full time? What would you advise those who are getting into that space? What kind of design thrive in the southeast and southwest, and even in the north? Because you can just go into the art space and start creating things without knowing on the other end what people would like. Like you said, it's born out of emotion. Where does inspiration for art comes from? I mean, I don't know if I'm asking too many questions at the same time. You can start from anywhere, though.
Well, talking about inspiration, you could draw inspiration from anywhere. You could draw, maybe like truth is I entered here, I'm seeing lines, I'm seeing patterns on this table right now. I could use it to create something on a fabric or probably on a bag. Again, I'm into full-time arts. I lecture at IMT.
Okay.
I lecture at IMT Enugu here.
Okay.
So, and also have my private work that I do. I craft bags, tote bags with using our African fabrics, Ankara, to make it look good. Now, coming to that, there are tote bags that are just there, just plain materials. But I, as an artist that has passion for making things that are unique and different, that stands out, I try to blend my designs with African print fabrics to make it stand out. So you don't come out and everybody's like, I see some that have tote bags printed princess, I'm a Gen Z, I'm this one. But for me, we are Africans, we need to showcase what we do, we need to showcase ourselves, we need to show that this is our cultural heritage. Whenever you go with the bag, with my tote bag that I do, you could see that, this is Ankara, hi, where can I get this? But not just carrying bags that are just plain, nothing to showcase that this is this. So for artists, they need to find out those things that are truth is nothing is there's nothing that is the common thing that is draining. You need to carve a niche for yourself. Everybody has something that they do that will make them sell out themselves and their brand. So you need to find out what works for you, and if that works for you, you need to be consistent in your design. Sometimes it's not going to be easy. Starting will not be easy because not everybody in this part of the world appreciates arts. You don't get the value of what you even do. People will, even the prices, when they price your work, you will be like, this is something I did with my hands. It took me time to do, I'm pricing this. So you need to be consistent. Just keep doing it. When the right audience finds you, you will go to the level that God wants you to go. So no matter how challenging it gets, no how difficult it gets, just have a need for yourself. You could get idea from someone that already doing something. Try to blend in your own idea and you get going.
Right. Do you think that the digital arts creates creativity or creation can compete with traditional creation? And to what extent, giving the value and contextual cultural preservation, how would you rate both? And how do you even determine both? How would you rate for what you have seen? And since you are a lecturer, you play in that space. How do you compare both?
Well, the traditional methods, they stand out. They are unique, and it depends on the level of people that are viewing your work. Beauty is the eye of the beholder, and most art scholars, those professors, they have the way of seeing works. When works are being displayed, most times they usually go for those that are traditionally made because they know that this person took time. It's taxing. You spend time. You spend time creating these things, other than just you go to the computer, it makes this for you, and you are good to go. But most times, those traditional methods, they are just there. It doesn't have that vibe. You know, people will say that this is the Gen Z era. You need to make things that will capture the eyes of people and all those things. But the traditional methods, they are one of a kind that are unique, because then there are those patterns. They are not something that you can easily see now. What digital tool does is it brings them, enhances them, makes them very, very useful, and preserves even those patterns for us. Like patterns that have been there if you Google them, you will see them. They are all there on the internet for you. All you just need to do is download them, add some things to it to make it stand out.
Right. So, in terms of preservation of our cultural heritage and traditional values, you don't think digital platforms can compete with the traditional ways of doing things?
No, the digital tools definitely help to preserve our cultures, because traditional will definitely pass, but digital, no matter if you could, for instance, a work could get spoiled, but if you have them on your gadgets saved, it's still there. It retains that authenticity for you. It helps retain your work. So digital tool is one major way we can preserve our culture and our heritage. Like I talked about the digital museum in Enugu State now. If you go there, you see works, you will see patterns, you will see artworks, marks, all those things. They are all there in the digital museum for you to see and have a view of what has been there before. So digital tool is one mega way for you to preserve our culture and traditions.
Well, we've seen people use designs to basically do wrong. I mean, there's no particular environment or school of thought that doesn't have the people using it to do wrong. Have you seen an offensive design and textile, and in your space people have these people who are those who regulate these types of design? And do you think there should be some regulations in that direction?
Well, there are people that copy the works of people, the artists, plagiarizing. They could get someone's work and repeat all those things. When you go for art exhibitions or art events, and they find out, just like the one I told you that is coming up, the Limcaf that happens annually. Once they see that this work has been repeated, they don't get that work to participate in exhibition. So there are bodies that are in charge. They check all those things, and once they say that, yeah, sometimes they say that is maybe the person drew inspiration from this, but don't just copy the exact thing. It's okay to draw inspiration, but don't just copy what someone has already done. So there are bodies, there are people that do all those things, and once they check that this thing is being repeated by this person, they'll try to view and weigh. And once it's obvious that you copy someone entirely, your work won't go.
How can you get more people to get involved in this arts thing? I don't see a lot of youth getting into that. Maybe they don't know the extent of how that can take care of them in terms of maybe resources. Do you think funding is also part of the problems and challenges that you guys face?
Yeah, funding is very, very important, because like I told you earlier, some of those tools are not something that you could just purchase easily, and then having the right audience is a problem. So, but now with what we are doing now, is more like an awareness of this is what is happening. So I think governments should help announce or create bodies that will help young artists, young talents to showcase what they have, and then support them, give them funding, and then if possible, if there are private firms or private bodies that could also help those artists to showcase their work, it will also help. Okay, so for me, in Enugu States, I keep talking about Limcaf. They are top. They are doing it well. There's even, by next month, they have a boot camp for young people. That boot camp is more like a training through art. So it's just like people just use your phone and do WhatsApp and do TikTok. Find out bodies, find out ways you could help enrich yourself, find out ways you could help build your portfolio, ways you could announce or find people that will help you build your art or your talent. That's what it demands.
Right. How do you think art can be used to solving Nigeria's problems? I mean, we have myriad of problems. They range from economic to political to education and the likes. Do you think arts should be tailored towards helping people find space or find information that could help them to solve their own problems as relates to the Nigerian system? Yeah,
well, most artists, they create works that affect their environment and society. Once you see people, when they create their works, they give it a title and a theme. You will see that this title and this theme is reflecting what is currently happening in Nigeria. So now it creates an awareness of this is what is happening. this is ways that it can be solved. You get, just like the current theme for Life My City Art Festival is Can We Breathe? That's the title of this year's art. So now these artists, these young talents, they will start imagine creating works that interpret the theme Can We Breathe? And it surrounds what is happening currently in Nigeria. So now with this, once people see those works, they are like, ways, they don't just create this work just to interpret what is happening. They create these works to give solutions or to suggest solutions to these problems that are happening in Nigeria. So art helps. It helps. It depends on the right audience that are seeing those things and knowing that this is what this person is trying to say with their work.
Right. Aside the funding part, are there other things that you feel that the government can do in order to create this urge or this appetite for art? Because I mean, every now and then I look at arts, beautiful, as they are. I keep asking myself, like, so how does this put food on my table? How does this solve a problem? How does it, that's just me as a Nigerian speaking, how do you think this awareness can be built further from the federal government end and even from the local or the state government end in order to, gather this momentum as it relates to, informing the youth about the opportunities that are rife in this space, beyond just the other things that you have mentioned?
Well, the calls for the governments partnering with galleries. We have the NGA, National Gallery of Arts. They have their headquarters in Abuja. They also have here in Enugu. So now government partnering with these galleries, these art festivals like the Lincave, the other galleries, once they partner with all these things, now they are now creating awareness to people. You could go to this gallery, create your works, go there, send your works, and they put the price, definitely. Now, governments should find a way to make these works. Once they partner with these galleries, they create awareness, probably create like an arts platform where people over the world could go to this website and they're seeing works of artists of various forms being showcased. So more like it will give artists a global reach. It gets finding art collectors. There are so many art collectors in the country, all over the world. So once they have this platform whereby you could just go, more like an app, you go there, you type sculpture works, you see works of artists, they're all there listed. If you want to get them as your own, or you want to collaborate with artists, you could meet, at least there should be like a data of the artist there also for you to reach out to the artist. So there are things that I feel they should look into, not just fund them, but help them create get that audience that they want. Because you could have the money, but you don't have the audience. You could have the funding that you need, but you don't have that audience. So partnering with these galleries, those festivals, helps a lot.
Right. What's the interest like in school? Since you're a lecturer, are more people coming in for these courses? What's the number like? Do you see year in, year out people coming in terms of number increasing, or it's reducing?
It's increasing. It's increasing. People are now going into art, and when I see them, I'm like, wow. When I was in school, I graduated from UNN. Arts, I think we are 35. I think we are 5 females and others we are guys. But now I think the departments for UNN, they are increasing. In IMT that I lecture, I've been there for 10, 11 years. They are growing, they are increasing, and people are really coming in for arts because they want to have that professional acquirements of what they do. I'm not an artist. I went through school, and that I've gone through school and I've been trained to get this thing, to do it properly, to have the audience that I need. So people are really coming in for it, and it's beautiful seeing young people really doing what they want to do. Not just your father wants you to be a doctor, you must be a doctor, but now they are really going for what they want to do. They have passion. You see that these people have passion. Even if things are not going, they find a way to get things done, and they keep moving.
Kaosiemenma, many thanks for your time. Thank you for the analysis. It's been really amazing with the last 30 minutes speaking about arts.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
We truly appreciate. We've been speaking with Kaosiemenma Uchendu-Edeh. She is an arts scholar and textile designer giving us an insight into some of the interesting issues regarding digital and, of course, the traditional textile industry. So we're back shortly after this. Do stay with us. Signature TV, news in your pocket.